Hey everyone! If you're a Game of Thrones fan still wishing for a redemption after that polarizing final season, it looks like there's finally hope on the horizon. Reports have surfaced that Warner Brothers is in the early stages of developing a Game of Thrones movie. It's an exciting prospect that could bring Westeros back to the big screen, promising an epic return to George R.R. Martin's fantastical world. Here's everything we know so far about this potential blockbuster and what it could mean for the future of the franchise. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers has been quietly working on a Game of Thrones film set within Martin's expansive universe. While details are sparse, the project is confirmed to be in the early stages of development. This means there's currently no director, no writer, and no cast attached. The movie could either be a continuation, a standalone story, or perhaps an entirely fresh tale exploring new characters. At this point, everything remains speculative. HBO and Warner Brothers seem committed to expanding the Game of Thrones franchise, which has already seen success with the prequel series House of the Dragon and the upcoming A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It's clear that they see the potential for more stories from Westeros, but as Casey Bloys, CEO of HBO and Max, emphasized at a 2025 preview event, the movie must prove to be worthy of a cinematic release. Bloys stated, "They'll develop an idea, we'll see if it's good, we'll read the scripts along with them. I think it could be fun and interesting, but it's very early in the process." The idea of a Game of Thrones movie isn't new. As far back as 2014, George R.R. Martin hinted at the possibility, saying, "It all depends on how long the main series runs. The books get bigger and bigger in scope. It might need a feature to tie things up, something with a feature budget like $100 million for 2 hours. Those dragons get real big, you know." The idea was even toyed with by showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, who initially wanted to wrap up the series with 3 theatrical releases. However, they pivoted to a 6-episode final season instead, which famously did not meet fans' expectations.
Well, I tell you what, I love the show. I'm so sad that it's wasted on you guys. So I appreciate it, but I don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Given the tepid reception of the show's finale, a movie could offer HBO and Warner Brothers a chance to make amends, recapture the grandeur of earlier seasons, and re-engage fans who were left disappointed. A well-executed film could re-establish trust and bring the spectacle and emotional depth the series was known for back to life. So, what story would a Game of Thrones movie tell? This is where things get intriguing. The details are still under wraps, but it's worth noting that the Game of Thrones universe is rich with untold tales. Options range from exploring the aftermath of the main series to delving into completely uncharted timelines and characters. For instance, fans could see a film adaptation of major historical events in Westeros, like Aegon's conquest or Robert's rebellion, both of which were pivotal in shaping the political landscape seen in the original series. These stories are beloved by book readers and have the kind of epic scale that would translate beautifully to the big screen. Alternatively, the movie could pick up threads left hanging after the main series, such as the fate of Jon Snow after he ventured beyond the Wall, or Arya Stark's journey as she sailed west to discover what lies beyond Westeros. Given Kit Harington's involvement in pitching a Jon Snow-centered spin-off series, this direction wouldn't be completely out of left field. There is also the possibility of a more standalone story set in the Game of Thrones universe, introducing new characters while subtly connecting back to the lore fans know and love. Whatever direction the movie takes, the team at HBO has made it clear that they are only moving forward if the story justifies the grandeur of a film adaptation.
Happy with how things ended.
Best season ever!
HBO has set a high bar for quality, so it's unlikely they would commit to a Game of Thrones movie without ensuring it meets those standards. The network's decision to scrap Blood Moon, a spin-off that reportedly cost $30 million to produce a pilot, underscores their willingness to pull the plug on projects that don't meet expectations. According to Casey Bloys, this same level of scrutiny will apply to the movie. Here's what he said: "We don't look at it from an investment point of view. It's about whether it would be a fun, big movie. This philosophy points to a careful approach, aiming for quality storytelling rather than banking solely on brand recognition." It's worth noting that the Game of Thrones movie isn't the only project in the works. HBO is already focused on multiple spin-offs, including House of the Dragon, which is gearing up for its third season, and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, set to premiere in 2025. These shows continue to expand the lore and introduce new elements to the audience, laying fertile ground for any potential movie developments. If the movie does move forward, it will add to the growing trend of major TV franchises making the jump to cinema, much like what Warner Brothers is doing with the Lord of the Rings franchise. It's part of a broader strategy by Warner Brothers Discovery to double down on blockbuster franchise content. While details remain thin, the potential for a Game of Thrones movie has reignited excitement among fans and opened up countless possibilities. Whether it's a direct sequel, a prequel story, or an entirely new adventure, the return of Westeros to the big screen could be a game changer for the franchise. But with HBO's cautious approach, it's clear they're committed to doing it right, and not just for the sake of fan service. What would you like to see in a Game of Thrones movie? Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for more updates as this story develops. Winter may be coming, but this time, it might arrive in a theater near you.
Dracarys.